Hey besties, welcome back to a new podcast. Welcome back to the Best Couple podcast. Okay, so today, guys, we're going to be talking about people that hold you back. And the reason for that is just, it kind of inspired us today, especially after our TikTok live. We had some real great conversations and a lot of questions that were asked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And there was one individual who had obviously was trying to put us down for what we do, being content creators and, TikTok, social media, what have you. And it just got into a discussion. And I think that's something we've spoken about before, but it's like people like that kind of hold other people back. And I think that's something you were saying earlier, like before we started. It's people like that we could have in our lives that are a brother, a father, who think like that.
Yeah.
And it's reasons why youngsters or even partners wouldn't want to.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. It's just I would have said that it's like a backward mentality, but the thing is, it's not a backward mentality. It's a current mentality, and it's going to be a future mentality.
Yeah.
It's just never changes. There's going to be people out there who are very close to you who are going to think like that. But firstly, I don't know if you're new to our podcast. Guys, Sureet and Stevie K. We're also started doing TikTok lives again now, so people can engage and listen to us and basically ask the question. We're getting loads people asking about how we got together. Obviously, we've been together. If you guys don't know and you're new here, we've been together. Well, we've been married for 25 years. So we've been together a lot longer than that. We have 4 children. 3 of them in university currently, and one's in high school. He's not in high school today because he's not well at the moment. But so that's our life. We do YouTube now, podcasts as well, because we want to not stay where we are. We want to grow. And then because we want to grow and we want to improve, and same thing we want for our children, we're raising them in the way that we want to, and we feel that's right for us, not telling other people to do what we do, or, or we're right and they're wrong. But we just basically, like you said, went on a TikTok, and then you see some messages. Some messages are great. They want to know about our journey, about our kids, how we communicate and understand one another.
I think this is one of the reasons it kind of pushes us to want to do this. And each time these questions are asked on TikTok, and I'm always like, I don't want to answer them here because it's that one-off, isn't it? They get to see, and then the same question will arise again. And, this is the ideal platform, podcast, where people can come back if they're searching for something in particular, that they can come back to it. So this is what I say each time. And I'm like, I hope they don't get offended by it, because the kind of questions we get is a lot to do with...
And we are repeating it again.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with whether it's relationships, whether it's parenting,
family,
the Indian community.
You wake up?
Yeah, that was today. The Indian traditions, community, and how we like you said today, get held back from.
And it's not the Indian community. It's just that there's people in every community that have got a different way of thinking.
Yeah, but we get a lot of people who obviously relate being Indian, want to know from us. That's where they want to ask those questions.
They look at us and they're going, you lot are not doing the traditional stuff, and you lot are acting or behaving all modern. It's not the case. It's just all we did. And this podcast was more or less, like Sureet said, was going to be because someone had mentioned, like, and trust me, it didn't get to us. It wasn't that, but you saw as soon as he wrote it, there were several people writing and replying back to that person. And then I thought, okay, you know what, this is quite interesting, because I didn't address it there.
You're just giving us something to talk about.
A podcast, So thank you very much.
Thank you.
He wrote something like, what do you guys do? And went, oh, well, we're YouTubers and we do podcasts. And then it was something in the lines of, in Indian, like find a job, a proper job, and you'll set a better example for your kids, looking at that, they're going to look up to you lot and not have any clue in life where they're going and what to do. because this is what you lot do.
I'm like,
which isn't a real job.
Exactly.
I went, wow.
Well, and our children are in university, all three of them. I think we're doing a mighty fine good job.
Yeah.
And what the hell?
And our kids are A students at school and college, and nothing that we're not trying to brag or boast, even though it might sound like it, but we're proud of them, and we never put any pressure on them. There's parents out there who basically are, you're going to do this. This is the goal and the path you got to take. We never did that.
And those are the kind
we never asked them to do even homework.
Those are the kind of kids who come to us as well. Not kids, youngsters who come to us on even those platforms, TikToks, as they're like, hold on. Wow, you're like that. Well, our parents are like this. And they want to know how, our parents don't understand. How do we go about certain things?
Exactly.
And it's like, and this guy, after what he said, it gives you that more of a fuel and motivation to, speak to people like out there. Don't allow, anyone to hold you back. You've got your mind set on something.
He didn't quit. Once these people turned around and said, you know what, actually, they make good money for a living. They're actually still working. It's not like they're not doing anything. This is what work is this day and age.
Yeah.
People create content in so many different platforms, and we've been doing it for 4 years. And like I said, we love what we do. I was a police officer for 20 years and also worked in schools for about 10 years. And that was addressed, amongst all these conversations. But it didn't make no difference. It was just like this thinking of, well, YouTube, content creating, all these things. Yet this person's on TikTok writing comments. Obviously, clearly, that unless that's their profession and work, which I doubt it. But who doesn't even know you? Or could be someone who does know us. You don't know.
Yeah.
But their mentality and thought process of that this isn't real work and this isn't setting a good example for your kids and other people. Hence why you don't need people like that in your life. Hence why we don't look at it in the way other people look at
it.
things. Yeah. And why we're happy not having so many people in our lives that will dictate society, culture, whatever, how our children should think and what journey they should go on, depending on what other people are thinking and saying.
Yeah.
Because like you said, this guy could be anyone's father, brother, son, friend, neighbour.
And that's it. We all have these kind of people around us. We've had them for sure.
Yeah.
And we could have sat there and spoke about it ourselves and continue the conversation, but why? We've come over here and thought, you know what, let's talk about it, because it is something to speak about. People like this hold people back from moving forward. And you think about it, like I said, we've been through it ourselves, and it's not an easy thing just to walk away from, especially when it's blood relatives or friends you've had for years. But if someone's not cheering you on, someone's not supporting you on whatever journey path you want to take,
even if it's someone very close to you,
it is hard. It is hard. It took us a while, didn't it, to kind of break away from everything. And since then, we've just been moving on, marching through without any cheers, and it's absolutely fine.
And it didn't just happen now. I mean, Sureet can probably talk about her childhood, why she chose to do what she did, or her choices were made for which they were. So I'll let you. But mine, I actually want to be a filmmaker, and that's what I want to do. I wanted directing and stuff like that. If not that, my backup thing was, because I love sports, was become a coach. I wanted to be a coach.
You did?
Not an athlete. Even though I love doing sports and everything, it's not like I didn't. I myself didn't feel like I was up to the level, and I didn't know how to go about it. Maybe it was that. It was basically filmmaking, because I love movies or sports. But my friends, my close friends at that time, I remember when I even went to college and I wanted to study film and sports, they made me feel, that he's only picking these subjects because they're easy, even though they were the things that I actually wanted to do. But it did plant a seed in my head that, am I only doing that because of that? That is there. You ain't going to get no job in where you're going to make the films.
Yeah.
Where you're going to, Indian guy making films in the UK. And then it was also, have you ever seen an Indian coach, coaching football or coaching anywhere else? Certainly at that time. And my mind just went, because they were all studying accounts, business, science, whatever it might be. And my mind actually went, you know what, actually they're right. even though I still went on the courses, I found them easy because I knew everything about it. But in my head, it was like, yeah, I ain't gonna get a career in this. This isn't the way that you normally do. But it made me feel like there's no hope for me in that, even though I'm studying this.
Yeah.
That after this, I've got to obviously find a job in business and things.
Of course, yeah.
And this is what I'm trying to say. You're gonna have people. That's why you don't see many Indians who are footballers here in the UK, or tennis players. I mean, you'll get the odd people, but there isn't, because
clap to the people
say,
who do support their children who are playing football,
parents
who are
who
doing
do
something that's not out the norm, like what us
because
have been
there's
told to
people
do.
like this who on social media or family members who turn around and go, "That ain't a real job."
Yeah.
Oh my God, do I find a real job? What kind of example? You're gonna have your kids to be a footballer,
It's the same.
or an
So
athlete, filmmaker.
You knew what you
actor.
wanted to do, and you chose not to do those things just because. Whereas for me, it was completely different. I was controlled completely from day one, with every move I made. So I wasn't allowed to pick. So again, that person did irritate me as well when I saw it, because I thought people like you were people like who were in my life,
When we were kids.
When we were kids.
So you're still here
telling
now?
me what subjects I should pick. And that wasn't like just as a youngster. It was in my teens, in being in college, picking my subjects for me, telling me where I could go, what I should do and shouldn't do. And it left me until now, figuring myself out, what do I want, what do I like. I was so lost for such a long time, other than what every typical Indian girl should do is get married at a certain age, before it's too late, and people, start talking, get her married, make sure she's cooks clean, all those things I knew, those things that I had to know.
Yeah.
And I was left for such a long time just thinking that was just my role and that's all I should be doing, and not knowing what career path to take because the control and stuff. So it's horrible. So when I see people like, comments like that, should I say, people like that, it does remind you you're going to have those close people next to you.
They're going to hold you back.
Who are going to hold you back. And it isn't easy. I think the main thing isn't easy to kind of step away from that.
Yeah. And it's not even, they might not be your uncle or finger. They could be your dad's friend or your,
filling heads in.
But they fill the heads in. It's like now also you'll see that in relationships with couples. You'll see a guy hanging out with his friends and Sureet and I have got our relationship in the way it is. No one interfering kind of thing. But you'll get like boys hanging around and then they'll turn around and go, "Oh, my wife didn't cook. Oh, mate, you don't even know how to sort your woman out."
Yeah.
When I come home, she's like this. Might not even be the case. It might be like, but it's this arrogance or ego.
When they get together.
Remember the movie of Animal, it reminds me of. If you haven't watched it, the movie called Animal. There's this like alpha thing of, you haven't got your shit together. You don't know how to look, you got your woman in place. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden that guy goes back, even though he doesn't want that relationship with his wife, or he's happy. There's only sometimes things ain't going in the way that you want. All of a sudden thinks that this is the way. Maybe I'm not, controlling my woman in the way that I should. I'm not a real man. Because you have this, when we're doing the TikToks, you're also going, "Oh, he ain't a real man," because clearly she is the one. And like going, what is wrong with this in this day and age?
And it's weird because now? Our children, this is another thing. Our children are not around those kind of people, have not seen that world. So when you're talking about Animal, I enjoyed that movie so much. Whereas my daughter said to me, "You're gonna hate it, Mum. You're really gonna hate it." But I loved it so much. And to me, when I thought about it properly, well, why did she not like it and why did I like it so much? Is because I know that there's the world
like that.
There's men out there
Yeah.
like that. Just because my daughter hasn't seen that side of the world, she has never been around. Her father's nothing like that. She just her it was like anger. What the hell is this? So me, I've seen it. I've been around it as a youngster. I've been around it. So it was like, okay, it's true.
They've had men. The only men in their lives have been men who encourage them and tell them to live their life in their way and show them respect and care for them, love them, and stuff like that.
Again, these are the same people you're saying like who will go to a pub and sit there with their lads. Same kind of thing, isn't it? Or sit on a TikTok.
Because if you turn around and say, my son has started, we live in Birmingham, but they started playing having a trials at West Bromwich Albion or Wolves or Birmingham or Aston Villa. Those are the clubs near us. They got that and they turn around and go, why aren't they like studying like, being a doctor or business or something like that?
Yeah.
Don't do that. There's no future. He's only going to work till 30 if he gets in there. And all of a sudden, that father's head could be like, you know what, that's true. He needs something back up. Why if he doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that he'll get that. And then you start talking to your son or your daughter and start going, you know what, I understand you want to do this, but, why if it doesn't work? See, already, now you're putting that seed in. That, instead of being that person who goes, why can't my son be a footballer or my daughter be a footballer? Certainly now, there's women playing football and doing various sports and they're great at it. Why can't they be directors? Why can't they be actors? Why can't they go abroad and just do it? Who cares if they don't get the job?
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with you.
There's that side, and there's also that side where you have parents who see someone else's child doing so well in something, it could be anything, like you said, football or, I don't know, swimming, I don't know what it is, but they kind of put that pressure on their child as well, like, because they see that and think, that's happening.
But yet those kids don't want to do it.
And they don't want to do it. And it's awful for them as well. And it's like, it's both ways.
Because we had that. Our daughter was playing piano and the amount of people, when she was a kid, she wanted to do it.
The worst thing about that was she wanted to do it for such a long time. And at that time of life, we could not afford it. Quite expensive, an hour lesson. We couldn't afford it. She's been asking for a long while. It was when Veed was born that you finally thought, you know what? Need to do this for her.
Yeah.
Something I never wanted to regret and she wanted to do. So at least she's sure on what she wants to do. It's not been like a phase she's going through. And she started up and she was doing wonders. She did really, really well. She did a good couple of years.
But we knew loads of friends and family all of a sudden they were telling their kids, and you could see the kids were like going, we don't want to play. And they was like going, no, you are playing. We bought this, we bought that. I'm like going, whoa,
you
okay.
See the poor kid
I
sitting
wasn't
there.
making my child play. She wanted to play.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You see that poor kid sitting there. I remember that night, he was sitting there and he was forced to play. And then my daughter kind of took over
and then with our kids, they went martial arts. They'd done it for about 2 years, I think it was. And then they just went, Dad, I don't want to do it. And we went, okay. It wasn't me telling them to do it.
It was okay. It was the worstest time because
they wanted to do it in the first place. They asked, "Can we do it?"
It was the worstest time as well for that because it was more like we just had brought their equipment for it. They'd been doing it for long enough, but the gloves and everything, we just paid a lot of money for it as well. Whereas we could have been the parents like,
well, we just paid.
Do you know what? How much that cost? £100 and something for 3 of you lot to go.
3 of them,
and we had to sit there, bearing in mind. So it's not you drop them off; you sit there and watch them play. I had my son; he was a toddler. He was a toddler at this time, so he'd be running around. I'd try and keep him entertained whilst they had their session. And they just said themselves, we don't want to do it. Some other parent, I know for me, be like, whatever it is, you're doing that. You're doing it. And with him...
And you've done so long, and we've been driving there, sitting there, twice a week for a whole hour, watching you lot. And now all of a sudden you lot don't want to do it.
And with Veed, we don't ever push him to do it. No. We have suggested thinking he should be doing certain things, but we don't push him to do anything either. And we've realised with our kids is being that way towards them, there are the people that they ain't in university for no reason.
Try things that you want to try. If you like it, fine. I mean, put it this way, 2 of them decided that they don't want to do it. There's no such thing as quitting. You know what? You do something, you learn, you fail, or you don't fail, and you just decide that it's not me. That's fine. You gave it a go.
Yeah.
It's not quitting.
No.
It's stupid to keep doing something just for the sake of it.
That's it.
And 2 of them stopped, and one of them said, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. So we didn't turn around and go, well, them 2 are not going, so we're not going to take you anymore. We went, okay. So we only started taking the one.
Yeah.
And we just like still sit there. And then several months down, then she went, nah, I ain't going to do it. I'm like, oh, but that's fine. It wasn't like, oh, hey, yeah. But it was like, you sure? You okay? And it was like that kind of thing. And even now...
another thing, I've just thought, oh God, there's so many things we can relate to that. We had the pressure of being forced to make sure our kids knew how to speak Punjabi, Hindi, and told to take them to the temple. And we did back then, years ago. We'd listen to the older generation. We'd do those things. And they hated it. They were miserable.
They were
so
just like
miserable.
Going,
They did about 2 weeks and that's it, I think.
So it wasn't long that we'd done it. We just went, are they happy?
No.
If they want to learn it, they will learn it. If they enjoy it, then fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is how we've always been, like, and even now, the other comment that this person written, at your age, you lot, the same person, and he, like I said, he wasn't,
such a shame.
even though I think he was addressing it, obviously he was addressing it to us, but other people were replying back. And he went, at your age, doing YouTube, that is like disgraceful. Actually, at our age, if we can do YouTube, that's actually inspiring, because it means that all those other people, I mean, put it this way, I was a police officer for 20 years, and in that job, everyone's thought process was, how much service have you had? How much service have you had? Oh, so you still got 20 years left, or you still got 15 years left, or you still got... It's like a countdown. As soon as you started, it's a countdown.
Yeah.
How many years have you got left before you retire? Even if you're enjoying the job, it doesn't matter where you reach. Basically, you can become like the chief constable or whoever it is, you know, it doesn't matter what your job is. Once, you know, your time is up, you're gone. You know what I mean? There's nothing after that.
Yeah.
And you got people obviously can stay on after, but they're not in the role that they are in.
Yeah.
But like now with what we do, it's not a countdown, it's a count up. If it works, you try different things. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, still each day is a different topic. It's a different thing. You don't know how you're going to feel. Exactly. You don't know how things are going to be. You don't know what's going to work and what's not. But you can do it as long as you enjoy it and you're happy. And I mean, if this is work, if it doesn't work, fine. But there's nothing guaranteed that you is going to be in the force for that long. You could go to one job and your whole life can change. I know amount of officers.
You only had how many years to go before?
10 years.
10 years before.
But amount of officers that I know that, you know, chasing someone and they were in a car accident or something else happened and that's it, their job was gone. So there's no guarantees anyway, because you don't know where you're going to turn up. Exactly. So there's no guarantees here either. Yeah. There's no, regardless of what you think is secure or not secure. But the thing is, if we enjoy this and we love doing what we do, we could do this till we're 70, 80, sitting here having a cup of tea and just going,
you never know. Like with me, I do feel like,
you don't know where you're going to go.
From where I've come from, I really feel like, excuse me, that it is inspiring. There should be more women out there, my age or younger, whatever it is, married, who shouldn't just give up on their lives. And especially if you've had the same upbringing that I have and how difficult it's been to finally find yourself, still finding yourself, you know, there's always room for growth and keep going. Like you said, there's always something different if you know, you're stuck there. And I just feel like I wish that I had someone to look at.
Someone who inspired
around
someone
me,
did something,
who I thought, you know what,
different opportunities and things to look at.
That's how I see it, because I know there's a lot of women who sit at home who haven't got that. They can't, because of whether it's family, whether it's
any kind of thinking like this. Like, you know, it's not your job. What you're going to do this at this age. Well, your kids are all grown up and gone to university, and now you want to work. And you want to do this from home.
Sad, Will. We have this one life and we worry about what other people think and the people around us. Like,
so, honestly. But this is what I mean. This person we don't know, and like I said,
it didn't really matter us. It's more like it gave us more of a fuel to like.
It gave us a content basically. But what I'm saying is, if this person who we don't know is writing this for people that he doesn't know, imagine how a normal person would feel when you've got these people who are part of your family, your life. That's the point we're trying to make. Certainly when you're married, you got two sets of families, you got friends. And then when their mentality, can you imagine, like Sureet now said, I want to do modelling now. My thing would be, go and do it. Fine, if that's what you... I want to do, TikTok lives, or I want to do podcasts just by myself. Do it. I want to get into sports or coaching or whatever it might be, you know what I mean? Or I want to go back to uni and I want to study and I want to, do whatever I want to do.
Not every partner is supportive.
Yeah. And the thing is, if anyone wants to say to me, oh my God, why is she doing this at this age and look at your kids or what other people will think, I'll be like going, dude, you know what? Is it your life? Does it affect you? It's got nothing to do with you. Exactly. You know what I mean? And not only that, I wouldn't be talking to him again, because I was thinking, if this is the kind of mentality you have, that you're not supporting, encouraging, and, feeling that, hey, wow, that's amazing, then there's something clearly, I don't need people like that in my circle. And it's the same thing for my kids. I want people not to talk about what they think that, oh my God, you shouldn't be doing that, or this isn't the way. What is the way? What is work this day? What is the right way? How do you know? Yeah. It's the same people who turn around and go, that's not how you be in a relationship. That's not how you raise your kids. How do you know? What proof or guarantee you got that wow, my parents raised me right? How do you know?
Yeah.
What's your relationship like? What's your marriage like? What's your kids like? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everyone's got this idea of, well, it's what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is saying. It's the way I've been brought up. It's the right way. How do you know? You know what I mean? I mean, I want my kids to do whatever they want. My kids, our kids, to do whatever they want. We're not telling them what to do. We're not telling them what age they should get married, or we could give our opinion from what we've been through, but that's our relationship. But we're not telling them when to get married. We're not telling them what job to do. We want them to be happy and feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
Day in, day out. And if it means that, oh my God, you know what, they feel that we're negative towards them or we're not good, then fine, you know what, even that I understand. It's with every relationship.
Yeah.
If I can't support them or encourage them, or I don't feel, then you know what, they know what to do. They know that if they believe in themselves and what matters to them is
I think they
important, then do what
definitely
you
got
gotta
the right people around them. They don't have anyone who would, you know, if they did, they've all disappeared as well, and they've disappeared for a reason.
And
they've already learned, like, you know, if you're not behind me on what I want to do, or you don't see what I'm doing, you know, valuable, then see you.
And I think what we've grown together to learn is that we can do. You got one, like, what's the point putting yourself in a jail? I know you can't see the bars, but you're in a jail when other people are telling you how to live your life, what is work and what isn't work, how to earn a living, what to study, where to go, how to have a relationship with your partner, or how to raise your kids, how to, you know, that is a prison.
Dictating.
It's like someone who's controlling and saying what they think is right for you.
For you. Yeah.
No, you're free. If you want to be free, sometimes you need to free yourself from the people who have that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
And if it is the way of walking away and saying, thank you very much. It's like now, if I hang around with old friends and they were just talking about the past, you know, it means that that's their happy moment.
Yeah.
That's all that was good. If they're talking to me and say, Steve, so what's your ideas for the future?
It was never
what
like
are you
that for
do?
you, though, was it?
No. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? And not only that, they talking about this. Oh, Steve, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to move here. We're going to do this. This is what I'm thinking of doing. I'll be like, wow. We're going to grow. We're growing. Maybe not in the same way, but we've got ideas to grow.
Yeah, but the friends that we had in our lives, there was never any conversations like that. It was like an escape for them just to get out. And you get to the point in life where you're like, we're done with this.
And we weren't even competing with our kids. They were like, oh, our kids are doing this, our kids are doing that. And we're like, good. No, honestly, very much good. And it wasn't like, oh, we never went home and went, you know what so-and-so's kids are doing? And you like, nah, no competition. Our kids, your competition is yourself.
Yeah.
And I know people say this on social media, but even our competition now, it's not with anyone else because we can't do what anyone else does.
Yeah.
And we're not better than
when we
anyone
meet
else.
people
but we're not
now,
any
it's
worse.
always when we meet people, the people we have in our life now, it's always about improving in life or how we can help each other.
Oh, yeah.
It's never about what we did or that competition part as well. It is like,
and it's not people. We haven't got.
What's something new we can learn?
Yeah.
Where can we go or?
That's
together,
who we got,
how can we grow together?
Yeah, and not in the sense of, oh God, what can I take from this person and use them, because they're on social media, or I can get this from them because this is what they are. It's more or less like you talk to each other in a positive way of going, what you doing? Oh my God, you going out? How, me and the wife are going over there and we're doing this. Oh, that's amazing. That's growth because you go, oh, okay, you know what? We haven't been there. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And vice versa. What you thinking? Well, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. I used to always, with friendship before, it used to always be about like negative stuff and all the drama that comes along with Indian households and what happens and all that kind of stuff. And it used to be draining. And the person that I am, I'm very much like, I'd like to help that person. I'd like to give them my true, honest opinion. And you know that for a fact. And sometimes you say, yeah, you should have just left it at what it was. But that's me. And if they're friends of mine and I've known them for this long, this shouldn't hurt. You've shared something with me which has hurt me. I'm like, you're my friend here. Those are the only conversations used to be. I always say
to it,
those are the only conversations they used to be. And I'm like, I've lost a lot of friends on the way because it was hard for them to hear the truth. Like, oh my God, what's going on here? It's hard for them to hear the truth. But I don't want to ever go back to those conversations because if I look back at my life now, I'm like, all the times we've been out, all the times, God, it feels really depressing because I compare it to now and we go out. Even if it's just me and you, we're always like, oh, what's the next thing?
Yeah.
It's never about, you know, X, Y, and Z happened before, or this is what's gone. It's not that. It's more like
we're out there
growing.
going, okay, where have we been? Do we like this? Would we
What's
come back
next?
again?
Yeah.
Not right there and then, but if we enjoyed it, we're going, God, wouldn't mind doing this again.
Yeah.
But if not, if we didn't like it, we just go, okay, what's next?
And you just think to yourself, the amount of time I've wasted trying to help somebody or trying to listening to their stuff. But yeah, I would never speak about my own stuff.
I always said to
much.
Sureet not to, not because you shouldn't help your friends or give advice, because again, it was just like I said, they just telling you how things are, but they don't want things to change.
Yeah.
And they're not going to change anything. It's just more or less a sympathy ear of, this is my circumstances, this is what I'm going through, can you just hear me out and reassure me, but I'm going to keep at it because I want to, you know, I'm not happy about it, but I'm not going to change it.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a relationship with their in-laws, it could be a relationship with their partners, it could be just anything. I'm not going to change
It's
this.
like, I need your support. I just want you to be here for me. But that you can do. But when you've known someone for such a long, when I'm saying a long time, that's not really a true friendship. You can't really be yourself. And I've got one true friend in my life. God, he can say what he wants and put me in my place. And I'm like, respect to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's not easy.
No.
And the thing is, and this is...
Because the truth hurts, because you know it's...
Yeah. And the thing is, it would hurt with us as well. But I'd rather have friends who turn around and say, you know what? You're talking about, you know, this issue again and again. Do something about it.
Yeah, but that's
You
what
know,
I was getting at.
I get it. What are you going to do about it?
That's what I was getting at. Those, if you look at the past now, when I look back, I'm thinking, I don't miss it. I don't miss not speaking about your mother-in-law or your this or that. I don't miss it because I've wasted. You probably haven't. You're probably still doing the same thing. I've wasted a lot of my time and my energy in this.
Yeah.
And now, with
and we're still having that 5, 7, 8 years on. It's like we don't watch EastEnders anymore. We don't. We haven't watched EastEnders in about
years?
15 years probably,
so
before our son
long.
was born. And this Christmas, we decided to just put one episode on. Just I think it was a Christmas Day one. Just for the sake
Who's
of
going to
it.
die this year?
Just see what was different. And we realised majority of the same characters are in there. The only thing that changed, storyline seems the same. The only thing that seemed like it changed was who we once saw was with this, like Alfie was with Kat, but no longer with Kat. Kat's with like Phil.
Crazy.
And see, I still know the names because it doesn't go away. But it was just like everyone's just done a wife swap.
Yeah,
kind of thing, and that was about it.
I was a bit angry. I was like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah,
maybe
she
it's
did.
maybe it's because it reminds you of the life that you had before.
No, I think
like,
for
you just
me,
don't want to
it
be
was just-
associated to it.
It wasn't, oh my God, I need to watch it. I think it was the humour of, you know, it was Christmas. And I went, you know what, Christmas, we used to look back 15 years ago over that. We used to look forward to what's coming on Christmas. Oh my God, EastEnders, what's going to happen?
And
blah,
don't
blah,
you think
blah.
that is such a big growth in us? Like,
Yeah.
even though we're testing, we're like, oh my God, did we actually sit there and watch this day in, day out?
But
as well as go and see a friend day in, day out. And, you know,
Exactly, but that's the point that I was trying to make. Your relationships with your friends and your family should be of growth. Basically, okay, these are the things. These are things not working. How can we change? Sometimes it's not about your relationship. It's just the conversations you have. And if each time you go back and it's like rewatching EastEnders 15 years on, that you still just listen to the same story, you know, same crap's going on that you slept with her, this person did this and this, that and the other, betrayal, whatever. What I'm saying, or same kind of drama. What I'm saying is exactly, if your relationship, you go back and you're still speaking to the people a year in, 2 years in, 3 years in, and you're not talking about something different, new path, new growth, new journey, and, you know, or talking about things that the other person's doing and encouraging and supporting each other, you're still talking about the same crap that's going on in my home, in my relationships. I hate the mother-in-law. She keeps on doing this. Can't wait till she dies. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Or my wife is a bitch. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and these are the kind of people... You just turn around and you go in, shit, this is not going to change. And
Yeah.
this
But if
is
you
how it's gonna
enjoy
be.
that, then obviously... you know
Majority of people do, because you don't have to focus on your own lives. You don't have to focus on your own shit.
But looking...
I like that. I want to watch EastEnders because
Yeah.
I don't have to think about my crap.
Of course.
It keeps me engaged. I want to listen to your shit because I've got my own shit. I don't have to think
We
about
were
it.
exactly the same
Oh,
at
yeah,
one
so
point in
we're not
life. And this is now
criticising.
looking back at even like EastEnders can really trigger me. I'm like, I don't want to watch it because it reminds me of the shitty place I was.
It's the life that we were living. So I'm not turning around and saying, oh my God, these like think they're better than it. No, we lived it.
We did.
We were those.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not. We choose not to, but
exactly.
we still see those people who come in and saying, Oh,
still in the same. But like now, when we went out
Thank God.
for example, we went out just a while ago for coffee. We met a friend who has a coffee shop, and I think it was just fantastic. Like, first of all, he told us no phones out. It's going to be us,
Fantastic.
him and his wife, and it was. You loved it because it's like, you know what I'm like with social media and making sure I post my food stuff and whatever. But straight away he said, no phones. We're going to be
And
like...
we didn't find out. I actually find that
I
nice.
thought it's... You know why? More so because everyone we know is normally like, when we go and see people, is like what they can get out of us, or just because of the number, or like,
Yeah,
in a
sometimes
way,
because
like,
they're all very
how
much
can
about
they help us
businesses
towards
and,
our
I'm not saying
business
they're bad people
promoting.
or anything like that, but many times we just get like, okay, I've got some ideas for you. And
But it's like, this was lovely. He was like, put your phone away. Although he's got 2 businesses.
Well, probably several. But,
Several.
you know what I mean?
The 2 that we've been to already. We sat down, we spoke with his wife, which was lovely. And all we spoke about was encouraging. I thought it was just encouraging each other, growth and stuff. And I thought, this is amazing.
And
this is
not
just what...
saying you can't talk about your, like you
Of
said, it
course,
was encouraging.
it's not as
It's
if we
not
didn't
like you
speak
can't
about
talk
stuff.
about
We
your
spoke about
past and
stuff.
what you've been through, but
how
your
we're moving
past
forward from
is
this, like
where we're not now.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you know, the encouragement of your past is, look, we ain't. Oh my God, you know, our parents were rich
Yeah.
and they're very, you know, educated and they've just given us the best life ever. And we're here going, hey, you know what? Everything is just handed on a plate to us. That, you know, your story is your story. So it's not been great, but we're good where we are now.
And you know,
that the reason there.
and even if there wasn't, it's always like, well, how can I help you with this then? Or, you know, let's do this and that. You know, there was conversations where you were taking away something and you were like, okay, that's interesting. You know, I like this. This is what I want more of.
Yeah. And not only that, he was motivating and inspiring me even afterwards, sending me
Such
so
a
much.
darling.
So we realised what kind of people we want in our life and in our kids' lives, basically. And we don't tell our kids to have those kind of people in their lives. They've just based, I think, from what we've been through and what we've done, they tend to go, okay, I get this, but, you know, fine. And they are like that. Do something about it.
Do something about
you
it.
can do this, you can do that. So it's not like, oh God, we all need support. We all need someone to listen to us, understand us, you know, a good friend. We're all going to go through things that we don't want to go through. I mean, businesses, relationships, whatever it is, you need that friend. You need
really
that family member. But it's about listening. Okay, fair few times you can just listen and not give advice. Sometimes it's good not to. They just want a sympathetic, you know, they can sort their things out. But if it's continuous, then you're just going, okay, I get where you're coming from. These are the options that I thought of that could help you. It's not always leave the person and go off. No, if that was the case, we would have left each other a long time ago.
Exactly.
So you have to have those deep down conversations and go, okay, so this is an option. These are the options. Try the ones like, you know, can make the thing work.
Yeah.
Then obviously if they don't work after trying, then there's an option of boundaries which people don't have and we've started to learn a lot about. Then you have to have a boundary of going, okay, I can't keep going through this.
Yeah. And if that means sometimes, you know what, having to be alone and getting through it yourself, then...
Because sometimes someone can have a crap relationship with their partner, but they're going, but my mother-in-law's nice. What? You know, I'm going to stay here because of my mother-in-law. I'm not being bad. What?
Yeah.
And you can still have a relationship with your mother-in-law. Don't get me wrong. She can still be not your mother-in-law, you know, if you're not with your partner anymore because he's a bit of a dick. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be with you, but I can still be friends with my mother-in-law. Nothing wrong with that.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, like, I want to be friends with my kids. I don't want to just be their dad. I want to be able them to talk to me about anything. And, you know, because if you look at always giving them advice as a mum and dad, your thing is always to protect them. But then at the same time, you're coming from a place of fear. You're not letting them fly.
Yeah.
You can't always protect them. You got to sometimes go, can't make that mistake. It is scary.
Yeah.
But do it. You know what I mean? That's it. But yeah, I think the main thing is about can't let other people
dictate your life,
hold you back, and, you know, stop you from doing the things that you want to do. And I think even that, Sureet and I, when we got together, there was loads of people who weren't happy in that sense, but...
we had a lot of people saying, watch, this is not going to last, or this is wrong, or what have you. And we're living proof, 25 years in, married. kids.
And it hasn't been easy, right?
It hasn't.
Don't get it, but
And
there's been a lot of understanding and growing up to do.
If-
And we were quite young when we got together, so we had to understand ourselves more than we had to understand each other. And I think sometimes people don't step back to understand them.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, going back to myself, not having the freedom or being able to speak.
Even now, I overtalk her.
No, honestly, and that is another.
I talk a lot.
You don't talk a lot. You are you. Whereas me, I was controlled. I was told when to speak to, when not to. So even me now, I forgot what your last thing was. What did you just say?
Basically, I end up talking a lot, but sometimes that is a mechanism from me as well. Not. I do talk a lot anyway. When I feel, even when I'm nervous, when I'm comfortable, I do talk a lot anyway. So it's not that. But Sureet, sometimes I think because she was always controlled, I always came as a protector in a sense, and I always felt like if she's got nothing to say or something like that, I've got to jump in.
That's what I was going to say. I'm living proof from someone who was controlled. I had to think about what was controlled. On just now, like, it's horrible having those people hold you back or telling you what you can and can't do. Even when you've got children as well, it's been a difficult path for me to find who I am just because of all of...
You did have that even after you married and kids?
It was so hard to...
Told how to dress and how to be, not by me, but...
Just everything. It wasn't just as simple. It could have been just the simplest of things for me. And getting control over my life and knowing who I am as well has been such a hard thing because I've had those people who have been there and made it difficult for me. It's not easy. So
but yet you still want to people please though, because that's also what you grow up to do.
And that was a part of it and why I carried on doing things, wanting people in my life, around my kids and stuff. And it got to a point where it was very difficult for me, where I was like, who the hell am I?
Yeah.
And I think that's where I was questioning myself so much as well. I was like, who the hell? So I changed my name in hope of thinking, you know what, I want to be a new me. Or who is she? Who was she? What do I like? Where? And it's that same thing, going back to the question that we had, to someone had wrote on the comments today, sorry, like, you have people like you who control family members, your own kids, whoever you are. And I'm living proof of it because that's where I was. I'm finally still finding myself. And it's not nice if you're in that position, if you have that same kind of, background story as me, then trust me, I'm here today to say it's taken me years on end to build me and I'm still pushing through it. And don't let people, don't let friends, don't let anyone, it's hard as well because I've gone back and forth. And it came to the point where I was just like, this is enough now. This is enough. This is about me. Like, how much life have I wasted?
Yeah. You need people. Again, could be partners, could be parents, could be children.
I think friends. I was lucky enough to have you because if it wasn't you, then there would have been. There's people out there who probably won't have anyone.
But you need someone who supports and encourages you.
You just need to find that one person. The thing is, you will find that one person. If you feel like you haven't got that person at the moment around you, if you think the way you're thinking, you think you're different from everyone else. There are other people. There are people out there just like you. You will find them. Just keep doing what you want to do.
And even now, just with what Sureet's saying, our community and the people we want around us are people. I'm not saying, oh God, they've got to be, oh God, they're rich or they're successful or whatever. They've got to be just people who just got a growth mindset. Growth in the relationship that you want to build with the people that you care about. Growth in the sense of whatever you want to do in life.
Yeah.
And if you've got that, people who encourage and support and, that's all you want and need. And if you haven't, then I'm not going to settle for anything less.
Yeah,
Trust me. I don't need it. So
we're still building on that at the moment. It's not as if we've got a whole ton of people who are like, oh my God, but it's nice where we are. We wouldn't go backwards. We're happy where we are. And it might be a scary thing to think, oh my God, what I want to have. We haven't got what you guys have got. You've got each other, or, I don't have that family or parent who would support me. Keep up what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
follow your dreams and create your life.
Those people will come.
Yeah.
And even if it's just the one, honestly. So yeah, that was, I feel like, today's podcast. I'm so glad we jumped on TikTok. So this is what it does. These are the kind of questions that people comment and talk about that really help us.
And I think this is why it might be a good idea for us anyway, that as soon as we go on TikTok, if there's anything that's been brought up, then maybe we'll just address it.
And this is why I always also do say is, guys, can you write it in the comments below here? Also, we've got Spotify. We have had people writing in the Q&A questions there what they want us to talk about, which we've just saw today. But like, just for a pure example, yesterday I was on live. Someone was just recommending me a movie to watch, and I couldn't remember the next day. I was like, I don't know what it is. And someone obviously from yesterday who was on today was like, oh, it was this. I was like, trying to find a pen, which I couldn't find. So I was getting my makeup, like lipstick or liner, and then you wrote it down for me. It's these kind of things. So the questions that you guys have, even when you ask us on TikTok or wherever you come from, you can't always remember them. So if you...
And honestly, guys, this is uncomfortable for both of us as well. It's something that we really want to do and very passionate about. But
I want to help people out there. Like, people like yourselves who have been through what we've been through.
People out there who want advice.
Because we didn't have that advice. No. We've done everything alone. We haven't. We've cut away. We're finally trying to make those friends or trying to be around people who think like us. And it's not easy.
You make new friends and new community.
It's not an easy thing. It's not like I want to go back into education. I'm going to make a friend there. Or it's not. And I'm like happy as well. I had this conversation with you yesterday when we went for a walk. I was like, do you know, if I wanted to by now, I know the youngsters or anyone now would have, like, in my shoes, the platform that we have, social media, whether it's Instagram, where I could have reached out to so many people and had so many different friends now. But I'm like, I'm so, just not me. Whereas years ago in my 30s, I probably would have been like, oh, yeah, let's hang out with that, or let's go and talk. No, I want the right people in my life. And I'm happy with, even if it's just that one. So, yeah, guys.
I'll let her finish it off.
So that's all it is for today. I think we've gone on long enough, but I feel like it's been a really, really good podcast. Yeah. And this is what I'm hoping they're going to be like for us, that we can, share things with you and encourage you guys as well along the way. And yeah, who knows what the next one's going to be about. But do stay tuned and do write in the comments, like I said below, and share to a friend or someone that you know who'd be interested or is going through something that we're speaking about, and let them know about our channel. And yeah, we will see you on the next podcast, besties. Take care. Bye.
Bye.